All right, welcome to another video in which I review how to play Mahjong. We are using the website of Final Fantasy XIV as an good explanation or introductory explanation to this game. And in the previous video, we have checked, we have proceeded as far as forming melts, right? We learned how this game flows, how this game proceeds, and what is your goal, and also we explained how to make a complete hand, and a complete hand should consist in 4 melds and 1 pair, and what a meld is explained here. Now, let us move on. We start with this section, okay? All right. Order of play. Each of the 4 players begins with 13 tiles, and the dealer, who is chosen automatically, plays first. That player draws 1 new tile and chooses 1 tile to discard. This may either be the new tile or one from their hand. Once that player has discarded the tile, the player to the right takes a turn. This process is repeated until the end of the hand. The hand ends when the player calls a winning hand. The hand also ends if all of the tiles are drawn with no player calling a winning hand. This is something we have already seen, I guess, but a new concept here is the dealer. Right? So Mahjong is a 4-player game, but one of them should be the dealer. At any time, at any point of time, exactly 1 player is chosen to be the dealer, or chosen. I mean, actually, the dealership moves around. So the first dealer is determined automatically, and the next dealer is determined mechanically. Well, this should be explained sooner. This should be explained soon, but the dealership moves this way. So if this person is the first dealer, then when the dealership moves, then this person should become the next dealer, should become the dealer for the next time. Well, you'll see, dealer. Right, and okay, I think this is it. So right. At the start of a new hand, the role of dealer passes to the player on the right. In a full match, a round consists of 8 hands, during which time the role of dealer passes around the board twice. The player with the highest score at the end of the round is declared the winner. In a quick match, only 4 hands are played. So, yeah, this it is. So suppose this person is the first dealer, and as the game when the hand ends, this the dealership moves to the right of this person, and then this goes around, and in a full match. Every player becomes the dealer twice. But in a quick match, you will only experience the dealership only one time. So yeah, well, so in a sense, so in a sense, you can measure the progress of the game itself by how far the dealership has moved. It is like that. So and the dealership should be experienced eight times, and so like imagine the present dealer is the seventh dealer, then this full match is near the end. It is like that. Really, quick match is quite quick, very short. Okay, next, section 6. Can't. Fine. Each player begins the game with 25,000 points, which increase when calling a winning hand. However, points may be deducted and deducted when another player calls a winning hand. Right. I think this is simple enough. But next point may be new and very important. It is, and this is important. A winning hand can be formed in one or two ways. Let's see. The first way is this: tsumo, when a tile is drawn. When a winning hand is formed with a tile drawn by the player, the point value is calculated, and each of the other three players pays this point cost. If the dealer calls a winning hand, the point value is increased by 50%. If the dealer has to pay another player, they must pay double. Well. So perhaps better to see these two types of winning at the same time. Okay. The second way of drawing, the second way of winning a hand is ron. Ron, when another player discards a tile. If a player discards a tile that allows another player to form a winning hand, only the player that discarded the tile must pay. When the dealer forms a winning hand in this manner, the point value is increased by 50%. However, if the dealer is the player who discarded the tile, only the standard amount is paid. The dealer has the advantage of earning 50% more points from a winning hand. In addition, when a dealer calls the winning hand, the role of dealer does not pass to the next player, thus giving the dealer an opportunity to score even more points. Right. Okay. There are many things to be spoken of this thing. In the first place, there are two ways of winning a hand: tsumo and ron. And tsumo and ron, are of course proper terms. So there is no translation. But if you like, tsumo is self-drawn. Self-drawn victory, and ron is dealing in. There are many characters of these two kinds. So, for instance, tsumo, you cannot evade other players' tsumo. Basically, you cannot affect other player's Tsumo, basically. So if they draw a nice tile, then they draw, right? But Ron is basically only responsible to you if you are the player who discarded the final piece for the player who win. On the player who won. I mean, when another player discards a tile, and then so basically, if someone runs, then the player who has dealt in to this person's hand was wrong, was bad, was made a mistake, basically. Or in other words, the person who won with Ron was good. Tsumo is inevitable, but you can evade other players' Ron if you are careful enough. So here is actually the place where skills come into this game, actually. So for instance, if you are sitting with other three players, and this person is very, very, I don't know, very, very suspicious, and very, what is that? Looks very dangerous. Then you should pay attention to how you behave, right? And then you may want to avoid Ron of this player. You might want to dealing in to this player's hand. It is like this. So and again, this scoring system actually reflects this fact. You know, Tsumo is, as I said, inevitable. So if someone Tsumo's, then other players like this. If someone Tsumo's, each other player should pay equally, basically. Well, it is true that if the dealer should pay for a Tsumo, then the dealer should pay double. True, but basically, everyone was everyone was bad, so they pay equally. But if this were Tsumo, in the case of Ron, then only one player is responsible for this. And look at the score. Look at the points that they have to pay for a Ron and a Tsumo. Actually, in the case of Ron, a player must pay, I think this is 4 times than usual. You see, so in a case where someone Tsumo's and the point is calculated to be 8,000, then in the case of Tsumo, the dealer has to pay 4,000, and non-dealer players pay 2,000. But in the case of but if this was wrong, and the winning points is the same, 800, but if this person is responsible for this Ron, this person must pay 8,000. This person has to pay for other players, right? So if this was Tsumo, then this person should have paid 2,000. The dealer should have paid 4,000. But because this was Ron, they don't have to pay these scores, these points. Instead, this person must pay for the player, totaling 8,000. So better to avoid dealing into other player's hand. True. So this is also strategically important. True, and there are two ways of winning a hand, but furthermore, depending on the kind of winning, responsibility is different. All right. And again, this text also mentions that the fact that being the dealer is advantageous. True, but at the same time, if you are the dealer, if you can win, that's fine and all. But if you are the dealer and someone zumos, then you have to pay double. So it is not the case that everything is good being the dealer. So also pay attention to this system. Moving on. Next, Yaku required for a winning hand. Right. How about this? Let us see this part. As Mahjong revolves around scoring as many points as possible, it is important to know the difference between low-scoring and high-scoring hands. The value of a hand is determined by Yaku, specific combinations of melts. The value of each Yaku is measured in hen, with 6 hen being the highest and 1 hen the lowest. The harder the Yaku is to form, the more hen it is worth. The hand value of the hand is used to calculate the number of points awarded. Points are awarded as follows. Okay. So already we have some new words, right? So first we have Yaku and we have Han. Yaku doesn't have to be capitalized, but anyway, say Yaku and then I just capitalize Yaku and Han both. It's fine. Anyway, so we have been saying that a complete hand should have 4 melts and 1 pair, right? But additionally, the combination of these 4 melts and 1 pair should be qualified as, or it must satisfy a Yaku. Yaku, as this text explains it, is specific combinations of melts, right? So this is basically combination not only of melts but also melts and the pair. Okay, so you need Yaku. So again, I think I'm repeating myself, but this is very, very, very important point to play Mahjong. So I'm gonna repeat. So not only having 4 melts and 1 pair, also you need to have a Yaku, at least one Yaku to win your hand. Okay, so we have basically 13 tiles, and occasionally you have the 14th tile, and this 14 tiles should satisfy a condition under which a Yaku, at least 1 Yaku, is conferred. Okay, so the question is, for instance, does this complete form is qualified for let's say for at least 1 Yaku, again, we haven't seen any example of yaku yet. So it is this talk is I've said this is abstract, but there are yakus, and the yakus are defined in terms of they are defined as conditions, defined by conditions. Right. Actually, yakus are, or a yaku is actually a condition, or conditions actually. Well, anyway, we don't have to be so technical here. But anyway, so in yaku, you should have it, at least one yaku. And han is also very, very important. And I must say that I'm suddenly excited here, but it's fine, isn't it? So han, yaku and han are different. So like this. So every yaku has a han, but to say correctly, but not all han hand conferring factors are yaku. So in this game of in the game of Mahjong, there are many factors, and then anyway, you need to make a yaku to win your hand. So yaku is what you are after, but at the same time, every yaku is measured by hand. So like if this is a very easy yaku to make, then this is just one hand. This is just worth one hand. So for instance, you may be very greedy, so you may want to make more difficult yaku, for instance, which is worth more hand. Yes, but yes, sure. So yaku is measured in terms of hand, how much hand it is worth. But hand, so there are factors that are not a yaku, but give you a hand. Notably, Dora. But we'll see. I'm a little bit. I tend to be a little bit technical, you know. So let's move on. So let's check this text. Okay. So as Mahjong revolves around scoring as many points as possible, it is important to know the difference between low scoring and high scoring hands. So okay, the value of a hand is determined by yaku, specific combinations of melds. The value of each yaku is measured in han, with 6 han being the highest and 1 han the lowest. So there are many yaku, right? Perhaps, I don't know, 20 or something. And half of them are one han yaku, so to speak, and the most difficult yaku is 6 han yaku. So yeah, true. You should aim for this 6 han yaku, if possible. But sometimes it is also important to just end a hand with a very easy yaku to make, to prevent other player to prevent from other players. To prevent other players from winning their very expensive yaku hand. So for instance, yes. Okay, so the harder the yaku is to form, the more han it is worth. True. Okay. The hand value of the hand is used to calculate the number of points awarded. Points are awarded as follows. I see. In certain situations, further calculations are involved, which may lead to point increases. As yaku are used to calculate the points earned, a winning hand must contain at least one yaku. Yeah, this is the place they say, huh? Although a winning hand normally requires 4 melts and a matching pair, this alone does not constitute a winning hand. Yes, yeah. Again, so this is the very, very difficult and not difficult. The very important point. One should not miss this point. So you need a yaku. You need a yaku at least one. At least one yaku you need. Right. So yeah. At this rate, I'll be repeating myself forever. So I will stop here. But you need a yaku, and this is why it is very essential to know what yaku is allowed, or what yaku are allowed or recognized in this game of Mahjong. This is the reason why I started taking a video in which I checked yaku in English. Anyway, so again, I'd like to mention again. Another point I'd like to mention here is this. So we have a list. We have this list of points, right? If your hand is one hand, then that's worth 10,000 points. If your hand is if your hand is two hand, then that is worth 2,000 points. Okay. Well, I think in 2020 or in 2021, I think this may be the best way of explaining or introducing the scoring system of Mahjong. But behind this, I'm not saying this is wrong or anything. This is correct, and this way of explaining this system is, I think, maybe the best now. But behind this list, very, very complicated calculation, or the rules of calculation are defined. So you had needed to know how to calculate your hand or the points before playing, or in order to play Mahjong, like, I don't know, 10 years or 15 years ago. But now, because if you play online, every calculation is done by the computer or the system, so you don't have to pay much attention to how to calculate. But again, this also is a strategically important point, because you should also know how expensive or how much your hand is worth, because basically you have an idea of how much your hand is worth, true, because we have this list. But this text says, doesn't it? In certain situations, further calculations are involved, which may lead to point increases. And this doesn't explain, does it? So you should know. I mean, yeah, I know. I'm excited. I know. Hang on. So yeah, I mean, yeah, right. It is correct. It may be sensible to say that beginners don't have to know this matter, right? But two things. So if you want to go up the ladder of the ranks of the players, I mean, the difficulty of the skill, so rank or rating points, what you may call, like if you want to be better, then you should know how to calculate your the points. This is one thing. So this is and this is a strategic point, because so using blue. So for instance, so okay, we have 4 players, and so for instance, this is you. And this and you are in 2nd place, and so of course we have a player in 1st place, and the score difference is for instance, let's say not here 10,000 points is the difference. How much points should you earn to get the 1st place? How much? So so you should know how much point you should earn to become or end in first place when the match ends. Right, so of course you want to be the champion as long as you play a game, right? So you should aim for the 1st place. So so suppose in this situation that the score difference between them and you is 10,000. How much points should you earn to become the 1st place? It is not 1,000, not necessarily. Because in this game, tsumo exists. Points may come to your place from other players too. So, sure, I said the score difference is 10,000 points. True. So it is true that if you run from one player that is worth 10,000 points, then that's fine. You can end in 1st place with this person. In tie, it is not a win. So for instance, wrong 10,000. Of course, if you run from this person, okay, the first case is this: run 10,000 from others. Of course, you can run 10,000 from the 1st player, but actually, to give you an I can't write 3. To give you an answer, actually, you can tsumo 8. Not here. You can tsumo 8,000 to become the 1st place. Okay, so because if you tsumo 8,000, then 2,000 will come here, and perhaps this person is non-dealer, so 2,000 will come this person, and the dealer should pay, let's say, so let's say this person is the dealer, and then this person should give you 4,000. Then you earn, the amount of points that you earn is 8,000, but the difference of 10,000 is filled in. Okay, so the face value of the Score difference may be 10,000, but it is enough if you sumo 8,000 to at least end in tie with this person. All right. So surprisingly, I have been excited, but you must know you must know how much your hand is worth. So this is one point. So this is the reason why you should know how your hand is calculated. Is calculated strategically. Well, the second reason is that, well, you should know how calculation works behind the scenes, right? If you play a game, and that is all. Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, the second reason is not strategic, so it's fine. Perhaps we can see this the next section, basic Yaku, right? So you wanna know Yaku, of course. I mean, actually, if you don't know any Yaku, you can't play or you can't win your hand in Mahjong. As I said, having 4 males and 1 pair is not enough. You have to have at least 1 Yaku to declare a win. Okay. So here, this text explains basic Yaku. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is not a complete list, and because there is of course the complete list is given somewhere else, and I've checked it in another video already. So if you're curious about it, please refer to it. All right. Let's see. So a basic Yaku. There are many types of Yaku, but we recommend learning these basic Yaku first. Right. Tanyo. Tanyo, huh? Okay. Tanyo. Has another name. That is all simples. This is this. Only number of tiles from 2 to 8 are used. The hand cannot contain any Una tiles or tiles numbered 1 or 9. Simple, isn't it? I think this is very simple. But I don't think that this is the reason why this is called old simples in one, I don't know, terminology or tradition. Anyway, Tanyo, you should know, only number tiles from 2 to 8 are used. The hand cannot contain any other tiles or tiles numbered 1 or 9. Right, like basically, so to make Tanyo, you just have to discard every owner and every owner 1 or 9 tile. If you have 1, 9 or owner tile, then you should discard them all to make Tanyo, if that is strategic to you. Okay, next. I mean, I've been saying like a strategy or to win, like a to play good, to play better. I mean, you know, this text is only about rules, how the game works, or what kind of moves are allowed, right? This doesn't explain how to win, how to play well, right? Well, I should explain how to play well too, but well, that should come later. This text is not for it. But at least you have to know what the game is like, what the game is, basically. Okay. Anyway, so let's move on. So all pawn for matching triplets and matching double. I see. For matching triplets and matching double. So in a sense, okay. I think I should have said something like this. So in the case of all pawn, every meld in your hand should be a triplet. That is it. That is all. And yeah, and Tanyao, in the case of Tanyao, the four melds can be, I don't know, straight or triplet. It doesn't matter. But in a sense, Tanyao is defined as a condition about the tiles. Yeah, the kinds of tiles. But all pawn is defined as a condition on the kinds of melds. What kind of meld should you have to make all pawn? It is triplet. But in the case of Tanyao, the kind of meld doesn't matter. The only thing is that the melds should not contain a 1 or a 9 or on a tiles. So I think and again this I think this text will also mention that these yaku co-occur can co-occur. There are some yaku are compatible. So for instance, because we have learned Tanyao and all pawn. Okay, so we have learned the definitions of Tanyao and all pawn. Okay, so hey, imagine it is possible to make a hand that is qualified for Tanyao and all pawn at the same time. So you can get Tanyao and all pawn at the same time. Yes. Right, so Tanyao and all pawn are compatible. All pawn and Tanyao can co-occur. Your hand can satisfy both both of the conditions of Tanyao and all pawn. Right, you can aim for Tanyao and all pawn at the same time. Yeah, no matter how you say, this is again very, very important strategically. So in such a case, you have two yaku, not one. To win the hand, you need at least one yaku. Of course, you can have 2 or 3 or more yaku at the same time, but at least you have at least one yaku to win your hand. All right, next, let's move on. Pure Street contains numbers 1 to 9 of the same suit, presented as 3 triplets of presented as 3 straights, right? This is wrong. Contains numbers 1 to 9 of the same suit, presented as the 3 triplets of 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Well, I can understand why triplet is used here, but I think this is misleading. So we have been using the term triplets as a name of the second kind of meld, right? So meld was provided into 2 types. Melds were divided into 2 types. One is straight, straight, and the second is triplet. A triplet is defined to be the combination of 3 copies of one kind. Well, in the case of pure straight, you need to have three straights melds that are one one of the straight melds should be 1, 2, 3. The second should be 4, 5, 6, and the third should be 7, 8, 9. And the fourth meld doesn't matter. You need to have a meld, of course. You need to have 4 melds, and this yaku confines the 3 of them in this manner. As long as your hand have 3 melds that are 3 straights like this, then your hand is qualified for pure straight. The counts as pure straight hand. The counts as a pure straight hand. And in this case, the pair doesn't matter. You need to have it, of course, but the kind doesn't matter. Whatever pair you can have suffices. All right. Well, I don't have to check everything, but so for instance, pure straight and Tanyo are not compatible, right? You can't have Tanyo and pure straight at the same time, because on the one hand you have to have 1 and 9 in your hand, but Tanyo prohibits it. No. Next, move on. Next triple G. Can't. Fine. The same straight. For example, 1, 2, 3 in each suit. All right. Mixed triple G. So like yeah. Yes, exactly. I don't think there's nothing I should add. This again is a constraint on melds. Right. Okay, and then next, half flash. Number tiles from a single suit plus honor tiles. So in this case, the kinds of meld don't matter. You can have any number of straights, any number of triplets you can have, but your hand should consist of one number suit and honor tiles. That is it. If you choose in this case, for instance, like this case, if you choose bamboos, souls, if you choose soul tiles, then you should discard all the man tiles or the pen tiles. You should collect soul tiles, but you can at least utilize honor tiles that you draw. But in the next full flash, it's not the case anymore. Only number tiles from one suit. So in this case, you cannot use any tiles. If you look at, if you find, for instance, any east or south tiles, then you should discard them to make full flash. Okay. There are highlighting. There are many other kinds of yaku. For a full list of those used in Doman Mahjong, refer to the yaku list. Well, you should pay attention to the list of yaku that the platform Mahjong that you're playing in allows. Okay, so in this case, this site only provides the list of yaku that are legitimate in Doman Mahjong in Final Fantasy XIV. Well, all in all, no matter what platform you are playing in, the list of yaku well, doesn't change a lot, but sometimes it changes. So you should pay attention to the list of yaku that are legitimate in the platform you're playing in. I should recommend it. And in the case of Doman Mahjong, I've checked the list of yaku before. So if you're curious about it, just find the video on my channel. All right. So, but lists, Hanf. Okay. So how many yaku have we checked? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 yaku. Right. Tanya. All pawn, pure straight, mixed triple chi, half flash, flip flash. All right, right. If you know these, it's fine. But I mean, well, I think that yeah, I think these are chosen because easy to explain, easy to be understood, and strategically speaking, fine enough. But there is. As we are going to see, yeah, as we are going to see soon, there are yaku that are a little bit difficult to explain or understood or introduced, but strategically speaking, very, very not versatile, but I mean very basic and that you must keep in your mind. So I think, well, okay. I'm gonna stop this video, but let us talk about. Okay, let me talk about them in the next video, please, and see you again.